In previous video, we'll look on kind of introduction overview of material editor inside the Vue. And if you missed that video, I'll put a link up on the right corner so you can click and kind of start from beginning. But in this video, we're going to actually focus more on image-based type materials inside the Vue, and also specifically PBR, physical-based render materials. And we also will look on substance materials. They are supposed to be PBR based, but again, that's a little bit different because they are procedures regenerated one. So overall on materials, it's getting started about 1980s, where is the researchers kind of established that solid theory about the basic of the render, just simulation on the colors and everything. And we will continue doing this, but about in 2014, when physical-based render kind of was popularized by Matt Farr and Greg Humphreys. So they start kind of in the book, which was under the same name, kind of give a theory and everything. And again, one thing you understand, PBR, it's not a defined set of rules, it's more as a theory. And because it's not set of rules or theory, I found out different applications maybe refer to different things, different images, different channels or properties slightly different. But overall, if we understand the basic concept of basic properties, we can always utilize or compensate one for the another. Example, let's go ahead, open material editor. And right here, we'll just go with the simple material for now. This is default Vue sample material, and almost all the time we can change any material from procedures, which is function driven, change to mapped picture. And mapped picture can apply almost to all of these properties we see. Overall, we have very few basic properties. Color, which is called diffusion map in some cases, or in a PBR specifically, it will call albedo. We also have our bump map, which is represent shading, kind of how light going on top of the and which is represent lights. Also displacement, which is same but will change shape of the object. Those two will help, but not necessary. What important for us, it is reflection, because every material will have a reflection, reflectivity, and in the PBR mostly refer as a glossiness, but also glossiness is will represent as a mirror type reflection, so not necessary reflection made kind of. And we have it reflectivity as well. As well, we have the transparency, and transparency, it's how much light pass through. How I say, it's a lot of properties, but overall these three. We have a translucity, which is sub, and translucity will have lights go in, absorb, and spread this way. Transparency does not change light passing, it's just change angle. Anyway, it's actually quite a bit theory. It's physicians, researchers and everyone, they spend lives just to define and how the light work everything. If you're interested very much in this theory, I do recommend go on Wikipedia or other places. You can find all the information there if you want to go into details. Again, we'll go simplify a little bit for us. Now, overall for us, what we need to have it is color diffusion, and we need to have it if we want it displacement or bump maps. This is another one. Again, this will give it some effect of the roughness, and by the way, the PBRs will call roughness in this case, and reflectivity in some cases. For example, in Vue, precisely reflection is not as important, but it can be compensated with highlights in this case. But overall, those is primarily. So in our case, let's go with the Vue, and we're just using simple images to put it in. To create some of those channel images, you have multiple applications. The one of them I like to use, and it is Filter Forge. And reason is why I like Filter Forge, these channels it's producing. So let's go like right here, we'll go and select, for example, stone, okay, gravel. And when we look open channels, you can see right here we have it all different channels available for us. So diffuse, bump map, normal, we have it also metallurgy, which is more referred to PBR channels, ambient occlusion, and other ones, how light absorb and bouncing, and reflectivity. So we have it all these channels we can apply it. The one thing with the currently the disabled, because not every material support those channels. The materials inside the Filter Forge majority developed by people who just users using Filter Forge, and they develop different materials that I did as well. And depend how they develop and depend on a version of Filter Forge. If I'm right, the only latest version 9 and 10 support PBR materials. Previously they don't. And if we have an older version of materials, they most likely don't have available channels for us in this. But we still can have a basic one, as I say, we can go ahead and reuse some of them. It's what we're going to do. And again, we can go through some materials and find materials that may support it. I already did this in pre-render, so we'll go use it, some of those materials. Okay, let's go ahead, close this one, and we'll start with our basic material. Okay, we'll go to switch to the procedural, mapped picture. And as mapped picture, we're going to open. Okay, right here, we'll go to the grass. And you'll notice right here, we have it, our diffusion, bump map, normal map. So it's very basic one. So I'm going to use diffuse for the color. And this does not represent, that map does not represent any depth, any lights. So you just take simple, basic colors and render them. So we have it no lighting. Problem with this, if we apply to terrain, you know what, maybe we should do this. Let's go just for now destroy our orb, create high field terrain. That probably will be represent just a little bit better for us. Okay, right here we'll take our camera and we'll just go look slightly down, maybe even closer, so we can see close up and a little bit more far away. Okay, there you go. So let's go here again, switch to the mapped picture. We already have a pre-stored one, and there we applied one thing. It's a world standard, so what I want to do is switch object parametric. You can see how it's stretching, and maybe just go, let's scale slightly down, okay, about here. And I want to be sure that's set repeat, so it's tiling is enabled. Let's go click OK in this case, and you can see we have our simple texture applied. Again, it does not have a representation of any bump maps or anything. It just whatever is rendered and it's applied directly on this material. Okay, next we're going to add additional material to this. So let's go ahead, open. And you remember we have a bump map and normal. And technically, bump map and normals, it's about the same. So they all represent same things. The different primarily will be the normal map, because they're using RGB channel instead grayscale. They will have a little bit more information and represent a little bit better effect of this. So if you have options between bump map and normal, you almost always want to use it normal in this case. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to open, and you'll notice right here we have the bump map and normal. So we'll just go ahead, use it normal in this case, and that will create for us more accurate bump map. Notice we don't have any displacement in this case, or any other effect. So if we're going take our camera, move a little bit out. So right there in a preview, you can see we have a very nice material applied, and it's very basic. It does not have any reflectivity or any other property. However, we may do have it highlights. Nope, it's disabled, so we don't even have it highlights. We can add one procedural way, but it is our basic. This is look very made, look does not have this kind of grassy reflection, so in some cases maybe work for us. So let's go see what other ones we can find and apply to this. For this one, let's go switch to what I call semi PBR, and it's reason they not have it all this variety of the elements, but they do have it a little bit more channels present that we can use it. And the problem is with them, they're not necessarily representing all correct channels. So some of them maybe mix some information or other ones. And again, it's because maybe reflection, mix it with a glossiness or with some other property. So for this one, we'll go again. Let's just go inside here and we'll open. We'll go to my example and I have it semi PBR, ashes, and we'll go and take diffuse map, and even in preview you can see diffuse map is just a simple image. Okay, apply color. So let's go ahead. Next we have it normals and bumps. Again, we'll go try to use it normals. Okay, we apply our normal to this element, and you can see how the exact grading is kind of already added. One thing with the normals, sometimes we want to take our intensity just a little bit down, and that is specifically related to the Vue application. I think they're a little bit too strong on some the properties there. And next, if you have a displacement, currently we don't have it. We want to use the ambient occlusion, and I think it is provided for us. So we'll go again, select mapped picture, open, and right around here, right there, we have the ambient occlusion. Okay, it will help with some lighting distribution and shadowing for us. Okay, we don't have it any highlights in this case, but we do have it reflectivity, and we have it in this case it's called metallic, and as well specular lighting. So in some cases in Vue specular lighting it will be highlights. So we'll go open, create here, and specular lighting. And because it's created, it's a total black image, so it's nothing there, but just in case we'll just download it, this one. Let's go to reflectivity. We'll go map it pictures, open, and I think reflection also will be black because it was rendered inside the filter forge, and that specific material did not have it. However, I think I see some right there. Yeah, some small reflectivity it is applied to this, and we don't have it any translucency on this or transparency. Okay, so it's just apply a few of the channels, but you can see already we're going here. We can select, and you know what, let's go ahead and render. Okay, and we're rendering. You can see right here we have it very nice, actually represent like lava almost elements. So it is help us kind of work with this. So let's go ahead now, switch to PBR material and see what's different. So for this, we'll just open our material, and from simple, we'll go switch to PBR. As we switch, you'll notice we have a different type of the tabs. Some of the change names, so we still have it our alpha bump normal displacement, but we have it now metallicness, roughness, ambient occlusions, and reflectivity, reflections as well in this case. So for the PBR, we can go to different maps. One we created, we can do that created inside the filter forge, or you can go to the other website that provide and download it paid or free. The one thing what I like it a website and I kind of recommend for you to use it, it's a Quixel Megascan. So they have a lot of materials. We have the free, and also I think you have the free credits so often per day, so you can go download it, not the highest but other resolution images, and you can see some of those very impressive, very nice materials. And example, let's go ahead, click on one, and they also have it all this pre-rendered channels. Okay, like mossy rocky ground, and some of them of course will have it like albedo, which is displacement, which is was diffusion. It's called albedo, ambient occlusion, displacements. They're also normals and roughness. So they have it a little bit different, a little bit channels more going with the PBR. And remember, PBR is not necessarily standard. It's more suggesting how to do it. So our color is what will represent our albedo in this case, and we'll go and just upload it. Let's go to select. We'll go a little bit up. We'll go to PBR, and let's go to quickly free download those ones. This is our albedo one. Let's click OK. So it should be applied. And you notice right here, it also says, hey, do you want to apply this to all other channels automatically? And this is the reason when you download it, for example, for Quixel, why I like it, they also provide special JSON file for you where they have all information about other channels. And when you just open one, it's automatically will read, for example, view and apply it. So it's save time if we click yes, and let's see what is take a few seconds for those images to loading. And after the loading, you'll notice we'll start having like in a normal. We have it loaded, we have it our displacement, we have it our metallicness. Currently we don't apply any metallicness here, but we have it our roughness, ambient occlusion, and effects. So this is a little bit different map. Let's go click OK and render. So this you can see it's actually look quite a bit nice. So it's look like real. Okay. Probably let's go to render final. Let's go render to screen. A little bit bigger. So I want to just preview how it will look with bigger resolution, and you can instantly see that it will be look more real. Okay, right here, and we have a very nice effect. It's almost look like real ground. Overall, I found out about 60% of realism that you try to create, it's depend. Okay, let me go put highlights maybe right there. It will depend on the texture. Its textures is one of the most important part. Okay, we'll go disable after exposure. Let's look one more things right here, and we have just to verify ambient occlusion there. Roughness, we don't have this one. Normal. Notice the settings, it's leave it by default, and it will again read from the JSON file that provided when you download it from that website. Some other one website I found out they don't necessarily have all this detailed information, but they will have it basic channels, and they just correspond with the name. So displacement, metallicness with there, roughness with roughness. So they kind of try to keep all this naming convention similar to this. Okay, this way we look, that way we look on the image based. Again, it is not procedural, it's not generated there, it's image based. The next one, let's go look for material that is you can create in another applications, another ones, and one is very popular. It's a substance. I have it, I think, a couple tutorials about how to go in a substance and create your own material. But another things, you can just go inside the substance store, and you can purchase or download it some for free here. Again, to purchase you need to have a subscription with application, but as a result you will have it SBSR or other files, which is CBS or SBR, which is can read directly inside the Vue. Let's go ahead right here, and we just go ahead open materials, and let's go ahead browse to our directory, and you'll notice right here we have it all this different type of material. We'll just go select one. Let's go open. It does apply, you'll notice it does apply, but interesting things about those materials that inside the substance that they have it additional properties that is embedded inside the material. For example, as we're creating, you can see down we have our metallic settings with all this intensity, and you can access by simply scroll up and down, and we have roughness and other thing. Because it is procedural material, a lot of these properties can be modified, and the properties will be depend on the material, and developer will make them available for you. So overall, for example, here we have quite a bit access, and we can modify some of these properties. Like for example, if you want rust saturation, so we can modify those properties. Some of these properties will be available, some in the specific areas that is related to overall, and some of them, depending how I said before, may not available in this. But overall, we have it same. We have it our color, which you can see the image. We have it normal, displacement, metallicness, roughness, all is generated. And of course, we have a new tab now that's called substance, because it's substance directly material, where we can go ahead and modify all of these properties that affecting all other tabs directly, so you don't need necessarily go inside each of them. Overall, here's kind of materials with a PBR review and a substance a little bit. Overall, it's overview. The best way to work with these materials is just go ahead and try it. Go to this website, Quixel, Substance, FilterForge, try to download a trial application, whatever, create your own texture, go online, also find some other free or pay, whatever you want to do, images, and try to adjust, put it in, work with them, see how they will work in your specific terrain. Personally, I prefer to do this hands-on, so because of that, we'll have a project coming on. I'll record another ones where we're going to create nice realistic terrains, similar what I do with epic landscapes, kind of like painting stuff. We're going to do one of those where we're going to use it specifically PBR materials, okay, rendered from those libraries, probably from Quixel downloaded, and also on a model modified, and we'll focus quite a bit on materials. So in the next video, we're going to look a little bit more on an ecosystem and how we can control with the images our ecosystem, how we can do as a material, and how does it work. Again, that one probably will be quite a bit long video because it is a lot of content to post it there. And if you're interested in this video, be sure to subscribe, give it thumbs up, like on a YouTube, and check other videos. It's helped me support and keep it on this project going. Again, thank you for watching this video.